This is round 4 of the Grand Chess Tour, the rapid edition of Your Next Move, which they call Your Next Move. It's live here and the game have already started. So uh, Wesley Saw's opponent today is Anish Giri. So they're already about 10 minutes into the game, and we shall go back to the starting position to see how the game progressed. So Wesley is white, and his first move is c4, and then Anish responded with knight f6, g3, e5, bishop g2, d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, knight c3. So this is some sort of a reti treatment here for Wesley. And then knight b6, knight f3, knight c6, d3, bishop e7, and castling for Wesley, and also castling for Anish. And then bishop e3, bishop e6, and rook c1, knight d5, offering to exchange pieces. So Wesley took that with knight d5, and then bishop d5, queen c2, rook e8, and then a3 by Wesley, preventing knight b4, a6, and rook fd1. And then bishop f6 by Anish, knight d2, bishop takes d2, and king takes d2. So two minor pieces have already been traded in this position. And then bishop g5, intending to trade more pieces. And then bishop takes g5, queen takes g5, and e3 by Wesley. So uh, Wesley would like to prevent the knight jump to d4. So it is Anish turn to move, and he's still thinking. And Wesley is ahead on time here. So let's check what are the progress of the other games here. So we have Aronian against Mami Jarov, and Karyakin against Anand, and we have Caruana against Nakamura, and MVL against Grushuk. So we have here Caruana. He seems to be winning. So this is the game, but I'd like to go back now to the game of Wesley. So let's go back. Okay. So Anish have not moved yet. Let's just wait for it. So I really hope Wesley would win against Anish here, so that he could extend his lead or maintain his lead against the nearest pursuer. So who is the nearest pursuer? It's Karyakin and Aronian. They both have 4 points and Wesley has 5. So Anish has made his move, and the queen retreated back to e7. Okay, what do you think would be a good plan for Wesley here? Oh, he made an immediate knight move. So it's knight e4, and it intends to go maybe to c5. If f5, then maybe c5, but f5 is not good because it would weaken Anish position. So I don't think Anish would go for f5 here. Let's check the chat here. What are their comments? Okay, maybe you are hearing some background noise. Just ignore it. They're just kids playing. Okay, so Anish is starting to fall back in time here. Wesley is ahead by more than 2 minutes. And in this tournament, I have seen that Wesley has a pretty good control of his time, pretty good time management. I haven't seen him really having problems with his time management. So that's a good sign. It means that he is able to handle his time now, and he can focus on winning his games and not worry about much about having his time falling apart or giving him anything that could cause time trouble. So after knight c5, Anish retreated his knight to d8 and then an immediate d4 by Wesley. So Wesley has consolidated his position. The e4 square is guarded by both the knight and the queen, and b6 is not possible for Anish because of the pawn on a6. So the position of Anish here is kind of passive, and Wesley started to uh, gain an advantage in space. So that's a very important uh, way of taking advantage of the position. And I think by retreating his knight to d8, that the heavy pieces of Anish, his two rooks, had been disconnected. So it would not be in his advantage. And let's see the evaluation of the computer. It says white is slightly better. Okay, so Wesley is ahead by 3 minutes now. It's a good sign that he is taking control of this game. There's a comment here. It says Anish draw master is gonna lose. Is gonna lose. Still not a GM. A comment by someone with the username still not a GM. Let's see what is his. It's a big blitz rating here to 430. Okay, what happened? What happened is that Anish moved the pawn to e4 and an immediate d5 by Wesley there. So here Wesley intends to choke Black's position by moving to d5. He is preventing the knight from going to e6 or going back to c6, and uh, there is a possibility that he would go rook d4, putting pressure on the e4 pawn, and may prompt Anish to further weaken his position by moving f5, his pawn to f5 in order to support the e4 pawn. But doing that is there would be if oh so he immediately supported that e4 pawn and not waiting for the rook d4 from Wesley. And here Wesley could go queen b3, threat threatening to go d6, open check, and then if queen f7, Wesley would just take the queen on f7 with queen f7, and then rook if king f7 or knight takes f7 by Anish, and then Wesley could pork the two rooks with d7. So Wesley is gaining a big advantage here, and it says the evaluation of the computer says white is winning. Okay, I believe so too that white is winning here. Wesley should just uh, find a good way uh, to make sure that he gets the full point in this game. So I believe queen b3 is the right way to go here, because if queen c4, he runs into b5. He runs into b5, and the queen would eventually be retreating to to b3. Oh, what a shot from Wesley! You saw that? Knight takes a6. Wow, amazing sacrifice there. I saw the point of this move. Knight takes a6 because Wesley has d6, and the pawn cannot take on d6 because of the rook, of the unsupported rook at c8. So that's my point a while ago. Knight d8 is not really a good move because it removes the connection between the two heavy pieces of Anish, particularly the two rook. And after d6, and the queen has to move, since the queen has to move, yes, it has to go to d7 in order to prevent d7 by Wesley. And still, if for example here, b takes a6, and then we have d6 and queen d7, and Wesley would go queen c4 check, and the king moves anywhere, and then Wesley would take on a6. So queen takes a6 here. No, I think that would not be necessary. If b takes a6, then we have d6, and then queen d7, and Wesley would go pawn d6 takes c7, exposing the queen to the rook at d1, and of course the queen cannot take on c7 because it's supported by the queen and the rook with a battering ram on the c file. And for example, after taking on c7, uh, the king moves, and then Wesley would have could take on the knight on d8. But that's I should stop analyzing that anymore, because as you can see, Anish did not took the knight on a6 because he saw it all coming, and he has moved his knight to f7, defending the d6 square. It's really amazing that you can see the Wesley is really in great form, and he is ahead by already more than 4 minutes. And Wesley could make a decision here of just pulling back the knight to c5, and then going for knight e6, or he could go knight takes c7. That could be a possibility here. No, he continues to push. He continues to push with d6. So what's in store for us here? What would be coming here? If knight takes d6, what would be the next? Of course, this is an immediate decision up for Anish here, because the queen is being threatened by the d6 pawn. Oh, so what happened is that after knight takes d6, Wesley took on c7. He could he could have done that before. He could immediately take on c7, but he made the decision to go to move his pawn to d6, so that the pawn could not be blockaded, because if an immediate knight c7 by Wesley, without the intervening d6, the knight could blockade the pawn at d5 with knight d6. So now there is no way of blockading the pawn, and the rook has come alive uh, in the d in the d file. And Wesley, the threat of Wesley here is is that he can go knight d5, threatening knight e7 with a check. So if knight d5 by Wesley, uh, he would be up in the exchange, quality exchange in favor of Wesley, because if knight d5, rook takes c2 by Anish, then knight takes e7 by Wesley with a check, and after rook takes e7 by Anish, Wesley could go rook takes c2, and he is up in material, uh, up in the quality of the exchange. Okay, so an exciting game here. Wesley is really is in a very big fighting form. He is absolutely amazing in this game. And Anish has already fallen in 6 minutes behind. So let's see what's happening in the other games. No major progress yet. It's amazing that this evaluation had not updated while the evaluation here at the board had already shown that white is winning. Okay, Anish had made a move here. So I think so rook e d8, and Wesley could still go for knight d5 here. So rook e d8, Wesley is now threatening, Anish is now threatening rook d7. I would favor here going for rook for queen b3 check. Okay, Wesley did go queen b3 check, and of course, Anish could not go to f8, king f8 because of knight e6 check. So other options are to go to h8, and or maybe just cover with the knight. But of course, that's not really good because that would be exchanging a lot of pieces, and Wesley is ahead in material here. Okay, another way to defend is what Anish did, which is queen f7, and here Wesley could just exchange material here. I think Wesley should exchange the queen now. Another possibility is queen b6. If queen b6, and that's threatening rook takes d6. Oh, Wesley decided to go knight e6. Of course, this knight is not pinned because Wesley could anytime go to move with knight d4, protecting the queen at b3. Anish or Black's back rank here is a little bit shaky. There are some tricks in the position that one should take care not to fall into. So Wesley is not in any danger of any miscalculation here. Everything is so easy to calculate, and he is ahead by one pawn here, and the position is in his favor, including the clock, ahead by more than 5 minutes. Wesley is putting excitement into this Your Next Move edition of the Grand Chess Tour. Oh, Anish decided to go Rook takes C1 and an immediate Rook takes C1 by Wesley. Of course, there's no other move for that. Rook E8. Of course, the only response would be to take the knight somewhere solid, which is knight D4. And with this, queen takes B3, knight takes B3, and the position has been simplified, and winning time for Wesley here. Wesley should take the knight back to D4, which he did, just did, so that Rook C8 would not be possible, because if Rook C8, Rook takes C8, Knight takes C8, and Knight takes F5. Thus, Anish immediately protected his F5 pawn there. And uh, what would Wesley do here? He could just go Rook C7 check, and if Anish exchanges his rook, that would be very much welcome. That would be in Wesley's favor. And he could centralize his king, start taking the king to f1, then e2, or go with f3. However, that's not good because you cannot take on e4 without bringing the black knight to e4. So I think Wesley should go to d2. The king should be going to d2 in this position. Rook c7 would be the best, because if not Rook e7, then the king would be forced to go back to g8, and that's not really good for black because it's not centralizing the king in an endgame like this. So good night to you, not good night. So good evening to you, people. This is the first game of the second day of the Your Next Move Rapid Edition of Grand Chess Tour 2018, and this is Roland of Pinoy Chess Channel at YouTube, and we are seeing a good action here. The exciting game between Wesley So and Anish Giri. Of course, it's exciting because I'm a Wesley So fan, and really when Wesley So does good in his games, really kind of really excited here. And so also the Pinoy Filipino fans out there of Wesley, I know you are excited too about this game, and let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy this tournament. I really wish that Wesley could continue winning this rapid edition, so that he has another uh, good performance in his record here. So Wesley is taking his time here. I think he is calculating the repercussions of the decisions to be made in this endgame. So he did not go Rook C7. I think he is waiting for Anish to make the decision himself. So he is consolidating here. Uh, no need to No need to exchange because um, that might give Anish drawing chances, and Wesley does not want to do that. So there are really stupid comments here. One of them say, "Yeah, Wesley not very precise. It seems so. Who's precise? Maybe him. He should be in the shoes of Wesley if he is so good. Then he should be the one playing this elite chess." Yeah, this is the correct comment. Wesley knows it's a winning endgame, so why force things? The endgame are the most difficult to play. You have to be very accurate because one wrong move in the endgame, it's very difficult to compensate because endgames are so uh, requires so much accuracy in terms of calculations. Sometimes it's more difficult than the middle game. So the intention of Wesley here, after all, is to weaken or to make black defend that weak B pawn. If I'm Wesley, I could just exchange this knight, and I would be happy to play the end game with one pawn up on the far side of the board, particularly the queen side. But of course, Wesley knows how to handle this. He could pin the knight on d6, but I don't think that would be a big deal because it seems that Anish has a little bit consolidated his position here. Maybe Wesley should move his pawn to h4. Oh, what he did is a4, protecting the further protecting the v5 square. Okay, so the intention here of uh, Anish is to really centralize his king. So what Wesley is doing here is really fix to really fix the b4 pawn and make it a very backward pawn. So it seems that Anish has successfully brought his king to where the action is, and he's threatening to go go with knight c4. So Wesley just move rook b6 here. So here uh, the king cannot go to c4 in this position because it would leave the knight at d6, And if knight c4, that would be rook b5 for Wesley check, but that did not happen. So here Wesley could go b3, protecting the c4 square. Okay, so that just happened. Anish cannot just go king c5, and that would run into knight e6. And after going back to d5, knight f4 check. Very exciting game here, but it came to a point that it seems to be a little difficult for Wesley. But Wesley could force the exchange of knight here. Uh, for example, if Anish just moves h6, Wesley could go knight to b5. So that would force the exchange of the knights. And after that, he could just march his king towards the center. And it's still necessary for Wesley to go h4 here, so that g5 would be prevented. Or if Anish is really intent on going g5, he should move with h6 first. But that would weaken g6 and could provide Wesley some play if the knight on d6 is exchanged. Oh, uh, knight b5 is not possible after all. For example, here knight b5 is not possible because that would just be winning for Anish, or if g6 was not made, the move g6 was not made, knight b5 is not possible because that would run into knight c8, trapping the rook. So now g5, we have now a6. So Wesley has successfully exchanged this pawn, and he now has a unmolested passed pawn here, meaning unmolested by any pawn blockade. So this pawn at b3 would become the winning piece, the winning item for him here, the one that would be providing the winning punch. So Anish would be forced to take this pawn, or he could just have the pawn, have Wesley take on b7, or if uh, a7, that would not be good for Wesley. So I think Anish would just have Wesley take on b7. No, I don't think so, because if a7, that would be very strong for Wesley. So Anish has to take that a6 pawn. So he took that, and then rook takes a6. Anish should be careful here. For example, moves like rook e7 is not possible because of the threat of rook takes d6 and then knight takes f5, porking the two, the king and the rook. So Giri is really down on time here. 7 minutes down on time compared to Wesley's time. So I think this is in the bag for Wesley here. Okay. This is a good move. It prevents um, it actually prevents uh, rook a5 check. Hmm. Wesley should be careful with the three move repetition. Actually, not three move repetition, but when a position occurred 3 times in a game, then that would be a draw. For example, this position has occurred twice already, and if Wesley goes back to b6 and then knight d6, if rook b6, knight d6, and then if Wesley goes back, then knight b7, that would be tries, a position has occurred twice, and that would be declared a draw. So Wesley should be careful with his next move here. So there should be no hurry for Wesley So here. He is very much ahead in position, and so Wesley has evaluated a different approach. So he seems to be asking Anish, so what now? This is my move, what now? What are you going to do? Actually, he is threatening here rook h5, and if rook g7, knight takes f5. So Anish should defend that threat there. So Anish could go knight d6. So still Wesley did that move, and I think if rook g7 here, uh, what would be the response of Wesley? He could go h4. Yeah, he could go h4 because if the only move should be if rook g7 h4 and then rook takes h4, and he could go back to h5. And the computer evaluation has really improved for Wesley here. It's 2.74. White is winning, but Wesley decided against h4. He goes back to rook h6, and he's still winning. And he is threatening rook takes d6. So do you think Anish is aware of that? However, if Anish goes, which he did, knight rook f7, uh, Wesley could go knight e6, and there is no defense for the coming threat of knight takes g5. Of course, if knight e6, uh, Anish could go g4. So if knight e6 here and then g4 by Anish, then we have knight g5, threatening the rook and also threatening the h7 pawn. So the h7 pawn would fall. But do you think the knight would not be trapped there? Or Wesley goes back to h5 here. And then h4. So that was what I thinking, and maybe Wesley is just playing for time there, hoping that Anish would not see the threat of the rook takes d6. So we have here king e5, immediately played by Anish, and again the threat of rook takes d6 is there. Wesley could go knight e6 here and then knight f4, threatening checkmate, or knight e6 and then knight g5. Or he could just move with his b4. He could now use his pawn here. Strategy of Wesley here is for Anish to do the thinking under time pressure. Wesley could trap the Wesley could trap the king here. Expect him to instead go to knight e6 instead of rook h5, and then if rook takes b3 pawn, and the king is trapped and would be mated after knight f4. So the same thing, he could still go for that trap. So rook h6 and king goes back to e5, and then knight e6, intending to go knight f4. So knight e6, if rook takes b3, then knight f4, and the mate cannot be prevented. Knight e6. Oh, I didn't see that. Knight e6 is not possible because there is a threat of knight f7. Well, of course, Wesley could exchange rook there. If Knight e6, knight f7, then knight c5. Oh, he finds a way to do it differently. Wesley finds a way. So that's really a wrong analysis on my part. Why should I go to e6 when I could just go knight e2 and then now knight f4? So Giri realized that there is a threat on that, so his rook immediately defended the e6 square. However, rook is able to if the rook is just maintaining his presence in the 7th rank, that threat would be easily defended. So here goes Wesley. He is trying to disrupt the pawn structure of uh, black here. This g4 is a genius because it cannot be taken because of rook h5. Uh, and if the g4 pawn would be is taken by Anish, then rook h5 wins the knight. So what is the threat here again? So again, there is a threat of rook takes d6 here. Wesley is maintaining those tactical possibilities. And Anish is very much low on time. If this is live time or the real time on the board, this is really drastic for Anish. Oh, but I think there's some mistake there. Maybe that is not the correct time on the board, and they're still playing here. There's no result yet. Oh, it says one half. Wow, Wesley is unable to convert this one. Why? I really can't fathom this. What happened? I can't fathom this result. Oh, the result a moment ago it says one half, but I really can't fathom if it's that's a draw because Anish is very much low on time and Wesley could just go rook h5 pinning this pawn, and of course that would force the exchange of knight takes f5, takes f5, rook takes f5, and rook takes f5. So that's it. And of course, this is the correct result. Wesley has won his game against Anis. Congratulations, Wesley. So you have again made your fans so happy, and that includes me and all other Filipino fans out there, and even non-Filipino fans of Wesley, the American fans, the other nationalities out there who are rooting for Wesley. This is the day that we have waited for Wesley to really lead and win uh, a lot of games. I hope he continues this performance and goes on to win this rapid edition of the Grand Chess Tour 2018. Thank you for watching, guys. See you on the next game.